Hello and welcome to this week's update. Lots to talk about, not least because I've finished the Spitfire. So part two, which was the cockpit of that. If you don't know, where have you been? Part two is the cockpit. That went up last Sunday. Part three, the construction, that's all uploaded and that's ready to go out this Sunday. And then the painting and weathering will go out on the Sunday after that, hopefully. I'm doing this as a buddy build with a good friend Rick Lawler from the Propaganda channel. And we're just trying to release our videos at roughly the same stage in the project. So Rick's a little bit behind me. I've actually finished mine and I'm going to show you those in a moment. I just need to be careful that I don't sort of give away any plot spoilers with his, that kind of thing. So there may be just a little bit of a break. We'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, part two's out. Part three is going up on Sunday. What also has been going on the channel is I did a standalone tutorial video on how I do World War II resin exhausts. Obviously, it's applicable to any scale. These happen to be 48 scale and they don't have to be resin. It's just my way of painting exhausts. So far it seems to be quite popular and well received, and I've had some requests for some other ones which I will do as an opportunity basis comes along. I'll do some separate standalone ones and we'll see how we get on. But the exhaust one, that's up for you to go and watch now. It's only about 8 minutes. It's quite short because, well, quite frankly, it doesn't take very long. So, why kick the arse out of it? Let's just crack on and do it and not waste any time. That was my kind of thinking behind that. Right, the projects then. So they're both done. Right, here's the first one. This is the brown one. So this, if you don't know, was... both are Eduard Spitfires. This is the 5B. The extras in this is I've used the Barracuda Studios cockpit set. I've used the master barrels, and that is about it. All the markings on both the aeroplanes are sprayed custom masks that I designed myself. I'm getting right into that actually. Really good fun. The paint scheme on this. So Airfix did GNH, which I think was AB334. This is GNN AB332, and I wanted to do something just a little bit different. Everyone does GNH. That aeroplane survived a very, very long time, went through all the squadrons, stayed on Malta, and then eventually was handed over to the Mercans. This one actually was destroyed in October, having arrived, I think it was April. Most of the other aeroplanes were destroyed in April, and if not May, either destroyed on the ground or shot down. So I picked this one so I could go to town on the weathering. The others, frankly, wouldn't have survived that long to get very weathered. So that's why I chose this one. And that's the advantage of having a cutter, is you can cut any markings you like, pretty much. Paints are MRP. Did my usual post shading as I put down the base coat. The base coat, it's MRP Sky, MRP Dark Earth, and then the grey was a mixed grey. It was a field applied grey when they arrived. They were delivered in desert camouflage, and most of the operations were over the sea, and obviously desert camouflage was very inappropriate, and they really stood out. So they produced this mixed grey. No one knows what it was. I went for a kind of in between extra dark sea grey and dark sea grey look to it, because I thought that complemented the dark earth quite well. But it was mixed from black, white, bit of blue, yeah, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I'm really pleased also with how the markings turned out. The weathering was standard oil sludge wash, and then the oil dot weathering technique, enhancing the grimy nose and everything. But the thing that's different about these aeroplanes is in Malta the fuel bowsers didn't last that long, and they were refueled by hand by cans. So when you have a look at a lot of the photographs, the fuel staining down the nose from the fuel. Oh, sorry, that is the wife. Just call her back. Okay, back with it. I'll call her back in a minute. Right. So yes, the fuel staining on the nose was very typical on these aeroplanes, and I really wanted to replicate that. So that was done with some spraying of Tamiya acrylic initially, and then oils over the top. Then I did the exhaust staining. It was all sealed in, and then I went back in and did some more oils. Really pleased with how that turned out. The other one here, I really like this camouflage. It's underneath, it's sky blue, which is a really cool light blue. Really like that, with light Mediterranean blue on the rear, and then on the top surfaces was dark slate grey and then deep sky. So I got the inspiration from this from the research that Paul Lucas has done in the Colour Conundrum series in Sam magazine, and actually in the Colour Compendium, I think volume 2 is discusses all the Spitfires, including the blue ones that were on Wasp. And he thinks he's answered that question to the best of his ability. But anyway, deep sky seems to be the colour, which is like this dark blue type thing. It's darker than PRU blue and less sort of purpley mauve tone to it. It's more of a saturated blue. And I faded it. Now, I did a black and white version of this picture just to make sure that the contrast was, well, some people even thought they were all over single colour, but you can see colour demarcations on some of them. And yeah, on this one, on the black and white photo that I took of the model, got to be careful because of the pitot, you can hardly see the contrast at all. So I'm going to assume that it's fairly accurate in tone. But it looks really nice in this sort of light greeny grey and then the sort of darker blue. It's lovely. I really like that. And this was painted in the same way. This is a 5C, and this was painted the same way. Now, I had a bit of confusion initially because I got my B's and C's mixed up and launched off and went down the wrong, started doing them the wrong way around. Luckily, just a little bit on the inside, so I just had to repaint the wheel wells. But yeah, this one, I did a lot of scratch building in the cockpit. I only had one Barracuda upgrade set. And the most prominent feature of those, I guess, is the oxygen hose. So I made that from wrapping some very fine copper wire round a plastic covered steel wire, and made all the fixtures and fittings and things, and I'm really pleased with how that turned out. I've actually got on order some flexible hosing. There we are. And then, yeah, this was weathered in the same way. So I'm really pleased with how these turned out, both of them. Some of my favourite models, actually. And to set it all off, I did a base. Now, this is part of the buddy build with Rick. Rick is a diorama builder, and I thought if he's stepping out of his comfort zone by doing an aeroplane, the least I can do is do a little base, and that's exactly what I've done. Very simple, just a bit of groundwork, a couple of oil drums, and yeah, still stinks because it's still dry. But yeah, again, really pleased with how that's turned out. I'll put some high-res pictures up when I take them. But there we go. So that is that project. So the bench is clear. And I know what you're all screaming. What is the new project? And it's this. It's Armour Hobbies 148 scale MiG 17. It's... Oh, now, who's done the mould for this? I think it might be Kinetic. have done the mould for this, but it's really nice. I've done a standalone, I'll put it down. I've done a standalone sprue tour of this model. I'll stick a link at the end so you can go and watch that if you haven't, but it's really, really nice. Now I'm going to do this straight from the box. I did ask Ammo, as you know, I've got an affiliation to them, hence the t-shirt. I did ask them, could I have the expert set with all the resin goodies? They said yes, but they'd sold them all out on pre-order. So they sent me this one, which is the basic one, and I'm going to do it straight from the box. No riveting. I might add some seat straps to the seat, but that is going to be it. But the main focus of this model is trying out these. These are the new Atom paints by MIG. They're acrylic, but they're supposed to spray like lacquers and behave like lacquers. So I'm really interested to see how these go. These, the ones I've got here, are some pre-production samples. So not all of them have got actual labels. I've dabbled with these a little bit. I've done a little bit of brush painting with them, and they brush really, really nicely. And I actually sprayed one of the base coats on the diorama base was done by this, and it seemed to spray really nicely. So really, really interested to see how I get on with these. And I've got more coming. Hopefully by the time I get back from Ramadan, they would have arrived. So that's the plan with that. Looking forward to getting stuck in. Right. The news. Some really exciting news. But at first, Lataki have announced a two-seat version of their Areo kit. I think it's the J22. The Yugoslavian thing that looks a little bit like it's a little bit Jaguar-like. So far, from some of the builds I've seen on Facebook, it looks really, really nice, that kit. So two-seat one, that's going to look really cool. But the one that's really exciting to me is Armour Hobby have announced the 48 scale Sea Hurricane. It's obvious they were going to do it. We all know they would. And the Armour Hobby Hurricane that I've already built, that ended up being in Malta desert colours, which was part of the inspiration for these Spitfires. I did actually modify the Airfix kit part from their Sea Hurricane to fit their Mark 1. But then realised I didn't have the decals. My cutter would not have been able to cope with 4-inch serials in 48 scale, which is a bit of a shame. So unfortunately, I just had to change it back to a Crab Hurricane. That's Royal Air Force. So really nice that that's come out. However, I have bought some Ventura sheets with all the serials on, and I was planning to use those decals, but you know, okay, they've almost beat me to it. So really looking forward to that. Now I've done a pre-order with the 2B because I'm thinking I might want to do a Sea Hurricane 2B rather than a 2C. Maybe. I might just do the 2C because I quite fancy converting the 2B into one of the Soviet ones with the 20mm cannon and the .5 machine gun. So I might do that. I don't know. I keep changing my mind anyway. So we'll have to wait and see. But both will be coming to the channel at some point. Right, that's it. Quite a short one this week, even though I have finished the project. Look out for the part 3, the construction, on Sunday of the Spitfires. Really looking forward to getting some feedback on that. I'm really looking forward to getting the painting and weathering ones out because they are, you know, really interesting camouflage schemes on those. That's it. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.